day, everyone! Greg Satilla, Gore the Rogue from CRPG Legends and the Guild Q-Choose, and today I was going to talk about getting hyped for the TBC announcement, but then I decided to quickly peruse the classic WoW subreddit, and I was a little bit surprised at the uproar being caused by the announcement for so many reasons. So what did we learn? We learned that pre-patch is coming to hit us May 18th, and that TBC Classic will go live on June 1st in North America. We learned that on June 1st you can buy a Dark Portal Pass, which will include a boost to level 58, apprentice riding skill, a race-specific mount, weapon skill up to level 58, access to certain flight paths, a set of level 58 green gear, 4 runecloth bags, and a little bit of gold. This Dark Portal Pass will not be usable on Blood Elves or Draenei characters. Next we have a deluxe edition, which includes a classic ground mount, a Shadowlands ground mount, a Dark Portal Hearthstone with unique graphic, a Dark Portal Pass, which is basically the boost, 30 days of game time, and then some other toy that leaves little footprints or something when you walk. We also learned that the cost to clone your character to play in both the Burning Crusade and Vanilla Classic is going to be $35. That's basically the news. Fun stuff. A standard deluxe edition that comes with most games, a boost to get people into the game without having to drag through the classic leveling unless you want to do a Blood Elf or a Draenei, and finally we get the cost giving to clone your character. So, back to the reaction, which was not what I expected, as the fringes of what must be the no changes and the changes please crowd suddenly were posting their outrage and their memes at a furious pace. Now, the best thing about outrage crowds is there's no middle ground. I guess that's probably the worst thing about outrage crowds, is that there is no middle ground as well. You are either 100% in agreement, or you are a corporate shill or a sheep or something. Any reasonable argument will be gaslit so fast it will make your head spin. But let's look at some of these enormous game-breaking problems that are driving people to abandon all civility in their posting on Reddit and just basically get in these insult flame wars. So let's take some time here and look at like the 4 major arguments that people seem to have, the 4 major problems. So the first major problem, 2-week pre-patch. This seems to be a big issue for a lot of people who thought Blizzard would give them plenty of time to level a fresh character to level 60 during the pre-patch so they could bring in brand new Blood Elf or Draenei tune into the Outlands side by side with their guildies with their long established characters. Despite the fact that during initial TBC, Blood Elves and Draenei weren't even accessible during the pre-patch period. The main crux of this is that Blizzard said they would have plenty of time to level. Well, maybe a dumb statement on Blizzard's behalf, because to some, 2 weeks is plenty of time to level, to others it's virtually none at all. People were arguing on the forum it took them months to hit 60. They thought they would have months again. I mean, this isn't everybody, but there was an example of someone who claimed that he thought he would have months. Others were talking like they would be ostracized from their guilds and never be allowed to play WoW again if they didn't make it through the portal with their friends on their brand new Blood Elf. Listen, I'm sorry that Blizzard didn't custom tailor their solution to the varying lengths of leveling time, but I am happy enough they moved off the line enough to give us even 2 weeks. I can see that people would want a little more time, but wasting this much energy and effort to something that is impacting the pre-patch, the small portion of the game that was only meant to transition us into the new game and get us used to its new systems? I think the devs have figured out the pace the community is chewing and spitting out content and figured 2 weeks is enough. Let's get them into the content they actually want, which is the Burning Crusade content, not the little chunk between the two. The second major problem seems to be the cost of cloning a character onto both Vanilla and Burning Crusade Classic. So it is $35 to clone your character to both a classic vanilla server and a classic TBC server. People are quite upset that this service is so expensive, as they want to keep a trophy of themselves in another time period. Honestly, myself, I did find the price steeper than I would have liked, but then I reevaluated my decision. I really would only want that toon on a classic server stuck on the end of Phase 6 content for a trophy. I doubt I would go and do a Nax GDKP or go and play for any real length of time. So I am deciding not to clone, and that's your choice too, but $35 for me was just too expensive. Blizzard services have always been overinflated for their perceived value, and like those services, it's up to you if you want to pay for it. Like I said, I would have liked to have seen this been cheaper or free, but it isn't. Going online and like losing your mind on other players and basically, calling them corporate shills and sheep because someone wanted to point out that Blizzard is a business and they can set the prices for their services at whatever they want. But that is an unreasonable argument to these people in these scenarios. And sure enough, I'm disappointed as well, and people are free to voice their displeasure, but when someone makes up a simple statement on why they might choose to purchase or might not choose to purchase this themselves, to insult them and attack them is childish, and it's rampant right now on the subreddit, and it's kind of ridiculous. Now, the third major problem, even though we knew it was coming, it has reared its head again, and that is the announcement of the level 58 boost. Despite the fact that we know that in-game boosting has become this large third-party industry that launders outside gold for game-ruining bots because some players really want to bypass the leveling grind. And some players are acting like the desire for circumventing leveling will just go away if Blizzard just bans bots. People who love WoW but don't want to level are just going to stop playing WoW if they can't get to 60 the quick way, which sounds great to some players, but if you have people standing outside your store wanting to give you money, do you chase them off or find a way to accommodate them while also reducing a revenue stream for those botters and turning that revenue stream over to Blizzard themselves? Like, this is a business we are talking about. I could see this maybe being a valid argument if boosting wasn't all over the place in Classic, but I can't even walk around STV on an alt without getting solicitations for boosting services. That is far more intrusive to my experience than if some player I don't even know decided to buy a boost. Who knows, your next star guildie might have bought a boost. Sorry that not everything is exactly like it was in 2007, but at the same time, thank goodness everything is not like it was in 2007. I'm sorry if this affects you to a great degree, like you only ever run pugs, and you are worried that the quality of the pug player base will be lessened over time due to boosting and people not knowing their class. As for me, I will keep playing with my friends and guildies who can buy their boosts or not. It will have next to no effect on me, but at least I know it isn't driving up the price of consumes because they boosted. The fourth major problem, the deluxe edition. Oh man, can you believe that Blizzard is announcing a deluxe edition for TBC Classic with a mount so dangerous to the game that many players will be excluding and ostracizing those who have it because of its nefarious secret ability. Sorry, there is no nefarious secret ability. That's right, it's just a regular old ground mount that looks different. But in the good old days of TBC, they never had a deluxe. Oh, okay, they did. But it didn't give you free, it didn't give you in-game stuff. Oh, it did. You got a pet. And then there was the TCG stuff as well. Okay, well, one person said that the new Dark Portal Pass is misleading to new players. First of all, new players will probably read what is included with the pass. I doubt they would know what the Dark Portal even was, so I would expect them to read the box. Not just see that and be like, I absolutely need this version, or I can never get past this Dark Portal I have never heard anything about. Either way, deluxe editions exist, You don't have to buy it, and you don't have to be a complete asshole to those that do. It's not going to make the game any better for you. And it's going to make the game a lot worse for other people. And these aren't bad people. They may have never even seen your rant on Reddit or on the message boards. They just might have been like, this looks really cool and I want to try it out. And then they start up in the game and some asshole is ignoring them and spitting on them and they have no idea what the heck is going on. Someone's calling them a shill or calling them a sheep. And this is basically behavior that people think is okay. People will decry that they were bullied in high school or bullied here, and then they will get on an online game and then they will spit and exclude people based on something that they, purchased, just without even knowing what the consequences may or may not be, because people are assholes. Anyway. Now, I do want to stress that these are issues that I'm sure could be reasonably debated between level-headed people, and I myself don't entirely agree with them, but that doesn't really happen too often on the classic WoW subreddit or the WoW forums when issues like this pop up. It's just a war against all remotely dissenting opinion, and that speaks to a larger problem. I just want to say that if changes to a video game you play for fun are driving you into a blinding rage that you consistently want to belittle and exclude others from having a good time, then maybe it's time to take a break and try some new things or just examine if playing the game is good for your mental health anymore. Sorry to say, but getting caught up in a toxic feedback loop that consistently evokes outrage can happen very easily these days, and I fall into that pit sometimes too. But if you aren't having fun anymore, maybe it's time to try something new, because the game has gone back to the old days about as much as it could have, and if that isn't enough to make you feel remotely satisfied, I doubt it ever will anymore. If you would like to have a reasonable debate on these topics, I would love to. Please comment below. If you want to call me a corporate shill or a sheep or whatever, I doubt I will be able to stop you. So please call me a corporate shill from your iPhone or Android phone, from your preferred browser or YouTube player, along whatever network provider you have. Maybe even look in the mirror when you do it. It might make me feel a little better. Thanks a lot.